Welcome to the MarcWes Sports Podcast.
Yeah. Welcome back to the MarcWes Podcast. We're over here about to set it off real quick on that Thursday night debacle that we done seen. Like, I didn't even want to watch football. Like, it was like the worst sports day for Thanksgiving that I had in a very, very long time. Even though when the teams be garbage, the games be decent. Look, did you watch that Dallas game?
I mean, I didn't watch the first part of it. I started watching like the second half. You know, I was like, okay, it's still a competitive game. Let's see what happens. And then it was that ridiculous fourth down attempt on the punt, like in their own deep in their own territory. Exactly. It's like, what are you doing? Do you realize America is watching? America is watching. It's Thanksgiving. It's the Thanksgiving game, and you go for it on fourth down, fake punt, deep in your own end zone,
knowing that they're gonna ask you about that shit in after the game. And what was his answer? I don't worry about those situations. And the news reporter asked him again. I want to make sure this is what you saying. You know, it was fourth and whatever it was. You know where you was in the game, and you went for it. That's what you're saying. You're saying that it doesn't matter where you're at. It doesn't matter about the situation. And he thought about it, and he was like, "Oh, I'll stick to my first." He didn't even want to elaborate, to make himself look more like an asshole.
Terrible. That's terrible, man. Wow.
Hey, it is
because
from
that point on, this game was over. After that, you seen the great play by the defensive back where he caught the ball in midair and just made Andy Dalton look like a straight bitch. Like, man, get out of this league, bro. Like, you don't belong here. You lucky even in this game because Dak Prescott got injured. Like, that's how I felt when that happened. But I felt like it was like their message that we're going for Trevor Lawrence, man.
I mean,
we're going for another quarterback because that's the only way I can explain. You won't even see that in high school. In high school, they get bold too. Like last night, I was at the game, and there was a couple times I was like, "It's 4th and 20. You got a garbage punter. Like, just go for it." And they don't go for it. And on national TV, the Cowgirls decided to go for it on fourth down on like some fake reverse too. Exactly. It wasn't like a pass or a sweep, it's a fake reverse.
And when I seen the replay, I was like, you had a few wide receivers open. If he would have, it was a fake play and he would have just threw the ball.
Either that or an option or a zone read.
All around.
It was just terrible.
Not worth watching.
Terrible. Like it was definitely a turkey debacle.
My wife enjoyed it though.
It was a Thanksgiving malarkey. I hope you had some good food that day. I know I did.
I did.
I was actually hung over like a mug though the night before, bro. Like man.
Gotta start early.
It's November, so it's like no shave, November right now. So this is all me right here. This is all I got.
Hey,
I've been growing this shit for like 30-something years, trying to grow up a beard. Like, but yeah, on Wednesday, shit, man, too much whiskey for me for some reason.
Whiskey? Ooh, I done with whiskey.
Yeah, I was hitting it like, I pregame, did a couple at dinner, then did a couple more. And then the next day, I was out of commission, bro. I was like, hold up.
So you woke up to some food. He woke up to some food on Thanksgiving.
Yeah. But at first, I couldn't eat shit, man. I was just like, damn, I can't even look at food right now.
That would have been
just
so fucked
water.
up. Your ass can't eat shit on Thanksgiving because of that shit.
Yeah, I had to wait until like 5,
Damn. Oh, you tripping.
Yeah.
My food was done like at 12 o'clock.
Oh, you went them early Thanksgiving.
You know what I'm saying? But for real, that game was like, my wife enjoyed it, like I said, because, I was not paying attention to the game like that because it was so out of, she was like, you really going to watch this game? Look at the score. I looked at the score like, yeah, change it, babe. But we wound up having our food and shit. But, yeah, the game, the Dallas Cowgirls just showed who they actually are. I don't think they're not in any running to get Trevor Lawrence, probably Fields or someone else. They just got to make sure that they keep losing, to actually get that quarterback, because at the end of the day, like, you got other teams that's just as bad as them, so it's gonna be hard. But
yeah,
again,
exactly. And
you got
that division is horrible, man.
Exactly, exactly.
Any team in that division has a potential to win. Like, every game, you think it's a different team.
You win with a losing record,
destroying Dallas. Now you're thinking Washington, and then when the Giants play probably on Sunday, you're thinking the Giants will win that division. It's the worst division ever. Like, maybe a 6-win team can make the playoffs, which is crazy. And we getting an extra game this year, which is crazy. We're getting another playoff team. So that's more of a reason why I think the Dolphins are going to make the playoffs.
Exactly. Chris was saying there's like a 33% chance of the Dolphins making the playoffs. I think we have a higher chance of making it there. I won't give you, I would say 50-50 chance, depending on this quarterback situation that we got right now. If Tua could come in and do his thing, cool. But if we keep Fitzpatrick in there, we'll make the playoffs. But I know that he's up and down, and I know that he's probably going to throw an interception that have us get out of the playoffs as soon as we got there. So we don't need that. But, yeah, going back to the Thursday night games, we also had Houston Texans playing the Lions, and that game disappointed me also because I wanted Houston to lose. Why? Because you see what his shirt is? Is the Dolphins. The Dolphins have the Houston Texans draft pick for next year. Yeah. And all year they've been dysfunctional. They fired their head coach. They traded wide receivers. They did all type of things that, you shouldn't do if you want to have continuity and build with the defense, offense, O-line, and everything like that. But they wound up winning. They actually looked decent. They really look good. I don't know if it was because of the opponent that they were actually playing in the Lions. The Lions, had the game, in the beginning.
Duke Johnson.
Yeah.
Duke Johnson
did his thing, He from the U, of course.
And from the crib.
Exactly. But yeah, that game was just like another downer for me. Checked in, checked out, ate some food, checked back in, checked right back out because it was so trash. But, I went ahead and looked at the highlights after. I didn't even bother watching the whole game. But from what I seen, Adrian Peterson, he's timeless in age. He scored 2 touchdowns in the beginning. And from there, it was a wrap. It was one point in the game where it was like maybe like 2 or 3 turnovers back to back to back. And I was just like, okay, no problem. But, yeah, forget that game. I'm mad about that game.
I felt like Detroit's quarterback, Matthew Stafford, was not healthy. He's not healthy since the last game. Other games he's been playing really well, but Deshaun Watson is just playing so much better. The Texans, they look good, but I don't think they're a team that'll make the playoffs like the Dolphins will. I think the Dolphins have a favorable schedule, and they'll find a way to, win some games. They got Cincinnati, I believe, coming up after this Jets game. You want to transition to the Jets game right now?
Yeah, we might as well. There ain't too much we could talk about with that debacle that we seen on Thursday. Nobody want to hear about the Thursday night games on Thanksgiving because all 4 teams was garbage. Yeah, you had winners, but ultimately all 4 teams were losers because they all suck. Now, going in and transitioning into the Dolphins, like you said, Chris said we have a 33% chance of making the playoffs. He read, I think we have at least a 50, if not 60% chance. Of course, for what Marcus just said, we have a favorable schedule. We'll find a way to win, and what better way to bounce back after a fucking loss and playing the fucking Jets? They don't want to win. They want to get Trevor Lawrence, They don't want Dallas Cowboys or any other team to have any shot of getting that quarterback before them. So I think it's going to be like the last time we played the Jets and how every other team is playing the Jets right now. We're going to definitely give it to them. Also, that's our former head coach. And I remember him when he played us last year when I guess they were winning, he kept pouring it on the Dolphins. So no love lost here, Adam Gase. We're definitely gonna show you your true colors, and you're gonna lose again. Good luck in getting Trevor Lawrence. I would normally say I want you guys to win, but just because you're playing us, it has to be a loss. I don't need you guys getting your first win against the Miami Dolphins. So Tua, we hear that he has a thumb injury. I was telling DeMarcus earlier before the game, sometime this week, it said Tua have a thumb injury and he's limited in practice. I'm thinking that is like fool's gold. I'm thinking that they really don't think that he's ready yet, or it all can be, let's capitalize on our schedule right now. Make sure we win these games that we're supposed to be winning. Okay, we'll see. Brian Flores, so far, he only made one mistake in last week. But for some people, for me, it was the best decision, give him that spark. But again, like I said, it's going to be a no-brainer for me. The Dolphins are going to go out and blow out. It's going to be a blowout. It's not going to be no close game. This is the time where the Miami Dolphins is going to show the rest of the league that finally been talking about us on ESPN and all type of sports shows that we're here. And yeah, we're young, but we're here and we're in the right direction on the winning scale.
Yeah, I think the Dolphins will bounce back with this game, but I do think it's going to be a close game, especially with Fitzpatrick in this game. It has all the feelings of it's going to be one of those Dolphins Jets on the road, because usually on the road sometimes they make it close, Yeah. And then Sam Darnold is coming back, and I feel like he's a step up from who Joe Flacco is, and their defense is pretty decent. They're decent where they got some players like Poole. I think is a good cornerback. Hewitt is a great linebacker as well. So I think they are going to make this definitely a game. And I'm not sure if they're going to cover that spread, though. It's crazy because 7 is a touchdown, and you can see the Dolphins winning this game by a touchdown. So for me, it's a stay away from the game as far as betting it. But I feel the Dolphins will definitely pull this one out just because their defense finds a way to capitalize on mistakes. And it's an Adam Gase offense, and Adam Gase's offenses will make mistakes. We know all about that from him being down in Miami. So I think the Dolphins win this game, but it could be, just by a touchdown. So the next game should be the Patriots and the Cardinals. It's going to be an interesting game. Patriots trying to bounce back from that loss or did they win against the Ravens? Shit. I don't even remember because I really feel like they're a non-factor. I feel like the Cardinals are going to be a factor in these playoffs. That's another team I expect to make it, the Arizona Cardinals, just because of Kyler Murray. If Kyler Murray can just not make mistakes, then he can definitely be a difference. And I think he's going to be a difference in this game. I feel they will pull it out, and they are favored by 2. But it's just by 2, so I feel like it's going to be a field goal type of game, actually. But I think Kyler Murray doesn't make the mistake that he made last time and not run the ball. I think he figures that out, and they pull out that win over the Patriots.
Yeah, definitely. I think they're going to pull out that win. Of course, this is not a divisional game, so, even if the Patriots lose, they still kind of in the running in the AFC. I think Kyler Murray is going to go ahead and bring the Patriots right back down from that win that the Patriots had last week. I think Kyler Murray's, like Marcus just stated, he's not going to get sacked and to end the game. I think that he's going to be his normal self. Of course, their offense been explosive. As far as with the defense, we know that Bill Belichick, he's a defensive-minded coach, but they have no offense. I know that they wind up squeaking a few wins, this season, but like it's over for this team right now. They got a lot of things that they have to fill and rebuild on. Number one is quarterback. Yeah, you got Cam Newton, but for that type of offense, it's built on accuracy, and everybody know Cam Newton. Even though I fuck with him, he's not the most accurate. He has the power, the arm strength. He got the build. He got the will and everything. But, for an offense like Bill Belichick, you definitely need to have an accurate quarterback. And he doesn't even have a big-time quarterback. What was his quarterback? The one that was beefing with him, Kelvin Benjamin. Kelvin Benjamin.
He's from the crib, too.
He's from the crib, but he don't. Is he still in the league?
Nah, he's out of the league. He's been out of the league for a couple years now.
Yeah. He can't stop eating and doing certain shit. But, yeah, regardless of the fact, Cam Newton needs a big receiver where he can out-jump people. If not, he's not going to do too much for you. Now, going back to Kyler Murray, accurate. He's not a Tua, but he's definitely close to it. He as far as accuracy-wise, but everything else, like, he's a fucking snake. You can't fucking catch his ass. Last week, he wound up getting sacked to end the game. But, yeah, he's going to bounce back this week. And I think that it's always good when a team beats the New England Patriots. So, Kyler Murray, I don't even think it's going to be a close game. I would say like 32-17.
All right. So you think they'll win big?
Yeah, I think they're gonna win big.
All right. Next game, Titans and Colts. I mean, two good teams. Two teams you also would expect will make the playoffs, but they're in the same division. So who's really gonna win that division may be decided this week between the Colts and the Titans. Mm-hmm. Will Phillip Rivers really, step up and be a great player and make plays, or will it be Tannehill? It seems like we talk about this almost every week. Will it be Tannehill making mistakes? Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. He's unpredictable. He's always been kind of average, or status quo when it comes to quarterbacks for the past 7 years. I would say Rivers is kind of a step above from what he's been in the past, 10 years. Just looking at that sample size. So I got to give it to the Colts in this game. I feel like the Colts will come out and really focus on that running game because they got a good defense. The Colts got a really good defense. Darius Leonard should be available for this game, and he's one of the best tacklers in the league. So I feel like the Colts win this game over the Titans -3. I feel like they cover that on Sunday.
I think Tennessee gonna win, and the reason why I think Tennessee gonna win is because the same person that I call Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill is gonna go ahead and find a way to do what he's been doing. Not too much. Be accurate in your passes, be decisive, know when to go ahead and check down, know when to actually go for a big, deep play because why? Derrick Henry, he wind up been finessing y'all all day, 6, 7, 8 yards a carry, so nobody's worried about Tannehill, I'm pretty sure the defense and every other team that's playing him still call him Tannehill like me. You kill wide receivers, you kill head coaches. Now, I remember, even though I hate Ryan Tannehill, remember when we had that O-line, the unicorn O-line where everybody was healthy, Tannehill was doing his thing. Tannehill is
those Jay Ajayi days.
Yeah, he is a accurate quarterback. Even though I don't like him, he's an accurate quarterback. I always said you can never turn a wide receiver into a quarterback, but he's making me eat my words, because
sure
he's doing his thing. And as far as he's a very durable quarterback, people want to say that he's not durable, but look, before he had
one major
before he had that knee injury,
but it really killed him
he
for
was
a year
getting
and a half.
hit. He was getting hit every game, because the O-line was shaky, before we got the unicorn O-line, and he always got right back up. Always got right back up and did his thing, Now, our team was dysfunctional, just like the Dallas Cowboys right now, just like certain teams that's struggling right now, even the the Jets. We had pieces, but we didn't have it all. And like I said, I mean, the NFL, NBA, two different leagues, but it's kind of different. In the NBA, one player can take a team to the finals. Probably not nowadays because we got a lot of almost super teams right now, especially in this league. We'll cover that in a second. But the NFL, if the O-line trash, most likely that quarterback is not going to have no time to do nothing. Most likely that running game is not going to be there, So that's one of the problems with the Dolphins also. I'm a Dolphin fan. I got to always throw certain things in, because the O-line is better from last year, but we still have no running game, one. And two, also, when I see other teams' O-lines, they normally don't get pushed back into the quarterback. That normally leads into a sack, and we normally get pushed back into our quarterback as far as with the Miami Dolphins. But, going back to the game, I think that Tennessee's going to do what they've been doing. And I know you say that the Colts got a good defense, but shit, Pittsburgh, not Pittsburgh, but the Ravens supposedly supposed to have a good defense, and they couldn't stop him, just like nobody last year and just like nobody the first half of this season. Nobody's been able to stop Derrick Henry. Nobody wants to tackle that guy with a full set of steam. I think, what does he run, a 4.4? He runs
something close to that.
He runs a 4.4, and he's like 200 and how much pounds?
Yeah, he's
come on.
He's got arguably the best run of all time.
Come on, man.
I mean,
besides the Marshawn Lynch,
besides beast mode and his run, but his is a 99-yarder. You know what I'm saying?
God,
that's the only thing about it. But beast mode is aesthetically that's definitely probably the best run for me all time.
Yeah, but yeah, going back to the game, I think that they couldn't stop A.J. Brown last week, and that's a raw receiver. He turned them guys into little boys. I think 3 or 4 guys tried to tackle that raw receiver 15 yards out of the end zone, and he basically shook everybody. Throwing people, get the fuck up off me, and scored. So that's the same thing. I think Derrick Henry is rubbing off on the rest of the team. Y'all some little niggas, man. You feel me? I'm gonna stiff arm you. I'm gonna throw you off me. You do the same thing. I think Tennessee is going to go ahead and win this game. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think that, of course, you got Phillip Rivers. He's prone to throwing picks. That's why they got rid of his ass. So
is Tannehill, though.
But Tannehill never had an O-line. Who has the better team? I think Tennessee has the better team.
I think the Colts have a better team.
Defense. I think Colts got a better defense than Tennessee, but I think Tennessee has a decent enough defense to stop Phillip Rivers and a better offense, as far as passing and running goes. And I think that's where it goes. So I'm going to go ahead and say Tennessee going to win. Close game. I think they win by probably a field goal, if not a touchdown. Don't care what score it is.
All right. Next game is the Chiefs and the Buccaneers, which is an interesting game because any game with Tom Shady and Pat Mahomes is usually going to bring a lot of intrigue. But Pat Mahomes is had Tom Brady's number. It looks like it should be a close game on paper, but to me, I don't think this is going to be a close game.
Me neither.
I feel like the Chiefs are going to dog these fools.
Dog walk their ass.
That's how I feel. I feel like they really got it clicking on offense. To me, they're the best offense in the league.
And they're doing it in multiple ways.
Ways. I mean, Mahomes, to me, is the clear-cut MVP in this league right now because he just does a lot. out there. He's
Tannehill's
unstoppable.
giving him a run for his money too.
Tannehill.
The reason why I'm saying is how he's doing it. He's doing it
without Derrick Henry. He'd be trash. Come on, man.
Come on, man. Of course, I agree with that.
He'd be trash. But I think Pat Mahomes would still easily make the playoffs with damn near anybody, and he's got Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce out there, which is ridiculous. So I feel like they're gonna score points, and I feel like Tom Brady, from what he's been showing lately, is not really going to score a lot of points to win this game. I feel like it's going to be a blowout. Chiefs are going to, get their backups in the fourth quarter. The Patriots will score. The Patriots. The Buccaneers still want to call them the Patriots. Tom Shady with the Patriots and the evil empire. I'm so used to that. But I feel they'll score some points late, but not enough to cover the spread, which is just 3.5. So I feel like they win by at least 3 touchdowns.
I agree. Now, again, Tom Shady, you got to start off with your name. I didn't like what you did last week, not shaking the guy's hand, goof, at the end of the game, and this is the second time you did it. This is the second time you did it this year. Goof. So I already want your bitch ass to lose for the rest of the damn season. As far as the rest of your team, yeah, I understand you're probably mad. You're mad at Goof and everybody else that you're supposed to shake their hands, but it's your head coach's fault. He doesn't know what makes you work. And making you work is not throwing 40-yard bombs, 30-yard bombs. Like everybody, I'm not sure about everybody else, but we're in the AFC East. We see New England twice a year. We're practically the Dolphins, the only team that do have their number one time every year. We're normally split on wins. But what does Tom Brady do? Tom Brady goes for 5 yards. 7-yard passes, 8-yard passes. You may get the typical 10, 15 yards from some slants, or if Gronk was open in the middle, if he don't have nothing, because normally New England Patriots, we're not talking about New England, but when Tom Brady was on New England, he had no running game. Last person I remember was Corey Dillon. That gave him a real decent running game. But
James White had some moments.
Yeah, James White, some moments, but we're talking about a consistent running game, all right, Pittsburgh Steelers, Jerome Bettis, consistent running game. Frank Gore, San Fran, consistent running game. You know what I mean. Adrian Peterson, Minnesota. Consistent running game. New England never had that. So what Bill Belichick did is Tom Brady.
Because they started doing running back by committee. They probably the first ones to really
not just by committee, but what else did they do? I'm gonna throw the ball in the flat to the running back and have him gain 5 yards. So it's kind of like a running play, but it's not a running play because it was not no handoff. Yeah. But that's what New England normally did, and I do not see that for Tampa Bay. I do not see the 5 yard, 7 yard slants. I do not see anything that's gonna have Tom Brady just work you. Tom Brady normally get touchdowns after he had 4 on first downs that drive, 5 first downs that drive.
Right.
With Tampa Bay, like the first play be a bomb.
Right.
30 yards. Like now you're putting Tom Brady in a situation where he has to, do a lot. And that's not Tom Brady's game. Maybe if you had Aaron Rodgers, cool. So I think that the reason why they're going to lose, not only because Kansas City's practically a better team than you. I think Andy Reid's a better coach than what's his name for Tampa Bay, the head coach. He's a player's coach, but I don't think he's a
Bruce
better
Arians.
Bruce Arians is a good coach. I don't think he's a great coach. That's why he hasn't won yet. Now again, Andy Reid, he always lost because he has situations, but now he has a perfect team. Everybody's buying in. Everybody loves him. He has their quarterback for the next 10 years, yep. So he's good on that.
He's good to go.
You got the stability with that. And when you got New England, you have someone that's a Hall of Famer, even though I think you cheated your way to get there, but you got 6 rings, even though I think you cheated your way to get them. But you're going ahead and going against Bruce Arians. It's a big dick battle. Who has the bigger dick? Is it Bruce Arians or Tom Brady? Because Tom Brady needs to have that 5 yard, 7 yard, 8 yards, and Bruce Arians, he like going deep. So just because y'all can't see eye to eye, y'all gonna lose. And I think y'all gonna lose big. I think you're gonna be getting some garbage time to make Tom Brady don't look suspect, because he's a Hall of Famer in the eyes of people. So they're gonna make sure that he has the numbers, but the game, when you look at the score, the numbers won't match what you've seen. It's gonna be a domination, like me and Marcus stated. So it is what it is.
The only way they keep this close is if they get a running game. And Leonard Fournette he's been kind of trash this year. I don't know why they don't give it to the boy Ronald Jones a little bit more.
What about Akers?
He shows more flashes.
Akers
is on the Rams. Cam Akers
from Florida State.
Yeah.
He's on the Rams. Oh, I could have sworn he was in Tampa Bay.
He's been hurt this year too. So yeah, I just feel like if they can get a running game, they can possibly keep it close, but I still don't think they cover that spread. So we'll just go into some quick picks real quick. The Packers and the Bears, real quick. I feel like the Bears are trash on offense. They got a good defense. Of course, Aaron Rodgers will score some points, just enough points to win this game and to cover the spread. Because these games are divisional games, they're tricky as far as it being close. So, but it's a 9.5 spread. I'm definitely gonna say that the Packers cover that, win a 10-point game, give me 30-20 Packers.
I think so too. Come on, man, you got Aaron Rodgers, man. It's a no-brainer. You got Chicago with the dysfunction at the quarterback position. I really think Cam Newton should have went to Chicago instead of New England. That would have been like probably an unstoppable team because, you got Cam Newton that can run and shit like that. But I think Aaron Rodgers is going to do what he normally do. He's going to be throwing it all day. Of course, he's trying to win another Super Bowl. Of course, we know this is a rivalry game. They normally play each other well. But, again, dysfunction, and then you got another team that Aaron Rodgers is finally liking his head coach, and you see his former head coach in Dallas, how he's looking. So it kind of seemed like Aaron Rodgers was right all along as far as that relationship. And I think that Aaron Rodgers is going to go ahead and continue what he's been doing. So Aaron Rodgers, I think he's going to win 28 to 10 because I don't think Chicago got anything in them to actually do anything positive that day. Now, again, we also got the Seahawks.
I'm changing my score on that. 20-10. I think it's gonna be a low. I think it's gonna be a low scoring game. I think about it. They defenses be showing up sometimes. But go ahead.
Now we got the Seahawks versus the Eagles. It's gonna be quick. We know the Eagles dysfunctional as fuck. Carson Wentz, he just loves throwing it to the other team. And we know that the Seahawks
Talia just threw a dime.
Oh, Talia just threw a dime.
Talia Tagovailoa is over here playing college football.
You know how he do
against Indiana and just threw a dime.
Hopefully, Tua could do that on Monday. But yeah, I think the Eagles gonna go ahead and lose this game. Russell Wilson's gonna go ahead and capitalize on the weaker team, the dysfunctional team, and I think the Seahawks gonna pull this off. Quick snap, and in a jiffy. I think the score is going to be 35-21. Now, there's one game I want to go back on. The Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Ravens.
Let me give a pick for the Seahawks.
Oh, you ain't give it yet?
No.
Oh, damn, my bad.
Seahawks and the Eagles. Two birds. One's real, one's not. But the bird that's fake is definitely definitely better than the bird that's real. Eagles are looking very dysfunctional right now. They need a new quarterback. At this point, I would say put in Jalen Hurts. Just see what you got in him because he's not really producing like how he's supposed to. I mean, when it comes to Carson Wentz, he has just been absolute trash. He's regressed, and I'm not sure exactly why. Yeah, he was pretty decent. He got injured a couple of times, 2 years. It's like, I guess finally, since you're getting the whole season sample size, this is your true colors of how trash you are.
No,
I
actually think it's because he got injured and they're not having him be his regular self. So he's trying too hard and rather than have it come naturally. I think if he moves on from that team or they actually get a new head coach, it'll be both parties, quarterback and head coach. But right now, it's like they're trying to force it to work. It's like a relationship where you know that y'all not supposed to be together, but you're just trying to force it to work. Like it's not happening.
But yeah, I think the Seahawks win this game easily. Seahawks are gonna just dominate this game. I would say 31-13.
Okay, so somewhat kind of like the score that I had, Now, what I was saying, we have the Pittsburgh versus the Ravens game. Of course, it got postponed twice. They were supposed to play on Thanksgiving. I wish I had that game, but we didn't. So more family time for us. And then, of course, we had 10 players tested positive for COVID for the Ravens. That made them delay the game again. And then, of course, Lamar Jackson.
I got Gus Edwards on my team, man, for fantasy. Like, come on. I just need that game to be played. So
as long as they find a way to play. I think they actually changed it again to Tuesday night. Tuesday night,
so
which I don't
get
mind.
Some Tuesday night football, which we
football
don't,
on Sunday,
unless it's some action.
Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. That sounds like a good week to me.
Basically the one day, and that's why we do that podcast on a Wednesday.
Exactly.
It's what we don't have football.
So I think that Pittsburgh, I want you to lose because, of course, I need to pop the champagne like Mark has been saying.
Oh, damn. I was supposed to bring the champagne.
We need to be undefeated.
That was supposed to be,
damn,
dog. I was going to bring some champagne and have it sit
and I definitely do not need you guys to win the same year that Don Shula died.
You got some champagne?
Damn, no champagne.
Damn.
We only drink hardcore liquor over here,
yeah,
man. I don't even fuck with the beer. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think Pittsburgh is gonna win, even though I don't want them to win. Of course, we got 11 players on the Ravens actually tested positive for COVID. Even their starting quarterback. I don't know if it's a ruse, and they're saying that so they can have more time to prepare. Since they had that game that they did lose previously. I don't know. It is what it is. Some people using COVID to their benefit, and if that's what it was, then hey, it is what it is. I can't blame them. But I think that Pittsburgh Steelers is gonna go ahead and pull this off. I do not need you guys to go undefeated this year.
So no champagne.
Nah, no champagne yet.
This week anyway.
No champagne because
we gotta have that shit next week.
They're not gonna win because this is the same year that Don Shula died, and there's no way that you guys can make them win and go undefeated the same year that the great Don Shula passed away. Like, so any team, Ravens, any other team after that, even the garbage team, find a way to win. Find a way to win.
Yeah. The thing about the NFL is, like, you never know. Like, in history, it's usually like a garbage team that ends up beating you that you didn't expect. So I feel like might lose to the Browns. They might lose to the Colts. They still got them on the schedule. So we're going to be popping champagne at some point, though.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So is that it for the picks?
What we got? I think that is for the
that's it for the picks. So let's just talk about free agency, man, because we keep it professional with the leagues and talk about free agency and the moves that were made this week. It wasn't really a lot of moves where I feel like, okay, this team can challenge the Lakers. That for me, that was my takeaway from the week. Is like, all the additions that they made and the re-signings that they made, I'm like, okay, so who's really going to challenge the Lakers?
Brooklyn.
I don't really see Brooklyn
if they're healthy
challenging the Lakers. Definitely not the Bucks. I still feel like the Heat could challenge the Lakers because we did it last year and we wasn't healthy. So besides the Heat, I don't see any other teams that are really going to be competitive. It's not going to be Golden State. It's not going to be Houston. It's not going to be, to me, it's not going to be Brooklyn. Because I feel like these players coming back from injury are injury prone. You know, Kyrie, when's the last time he had a full season? KD out with an Achilles injury, so that's a concern. Yeah. It really depends if that move with James Harden actually happens. If that does happen, then maybe that is a contender. If not, they're not a contender to me. Nobody else in the East besides the Heat, like I said, because the Bucks with their garbage move with Drew Holiday, I feel like that actually sets you back, and I feel like that's like gonna be your demise. We're gonna get Giannis next year. And everybody's going to be happy here in South Florida because we going to win a championship. So, but besides the moves like Marc Gasol that I saw that they got.
The Lakers?
Yeah.
Marc Gasol got
They got Harkless from the Clippers.
Don't matter.
I feel like that was a good signing. I mean, they lose Rondo, but, like, why keep him? Another good move by them. I feel like the Lakers are going to be in the finals next year, based on what I saw in free agency this week.
I think so. Also, well before we get to the East, I think the West is like what Marcus said. LeBron, I don't see anybody beating LeBron in the West right now, and I think personally the only team that can challenge them right now in the West is the Clippers. They didn't trade Paul George so far. You know, they still got Kawhi. You know, they got rid of garbage ass Doc as a head coach. You know, so just getting rid of Doc is, I think, a plus. If you're going, I think LeBron can be a better coach than Doc. Wow. You know, and that's just and that says a lot.
Better than the doctor?
Hell yeah! Like, come on, man. That's a doctor. That's the C student. You know, just because you're a doctor, that doesn't mean you was an A student. You know, you got A, B, C, D, F. He was the C student. He just passed. You know, so I'm looking at these moves. I like the moves. I mean, you get some more transparency in the NBA right now. You got Chris Paul that went to the Phoenix Suns with Booker. You know, I think that's going to be a good tandem right there. I don't know too much about their team right now because they're still trading. You know, everybody's trading. And
they got Jay Crowder.
Oh, and they got Jay Crowder. So I think that's a good move. Will they actually make a championship run? No. Do I think they will be, feisty and contenders to, compete? Yes. I think that's a good move. Of course, you got the Lakers. You got Marc Gasol going to the Lakers. That's another big man, but I think that will be a detriment to the team because he's slow as fuck. The Lakers move fast. He moves slow. He can't really even jump the way he, used to jump, and he never really had a jumping game like that anyway. Yeah, you can shoot, but I don't really see, how that move was a positive from the two guys that you big men that you got away from.
But you had to. I think they got rid of Dwight Howard, right?
They got rid of Dwight and what's his name? The other guy that used to be with Steph. The one that's always on Shackton. What's his name?
Oh, the red dude. Yeah, I know you're talking about.
So they got rid of both 7-footers. You know what I'm saying?
But he didn't even get a lot of playing time.
Why he didn't get a lot of playing time?
Because you got AD.
It's not because of Miami D. It's because he has no shot. You know what I'm saying? He has no shot. Yeah, you got better in the free throw. Yeah, Dwight got better in the free throw, but they both don't have no shot. So they have to be stuck in the paint.
Marc Gasol. Marc Gasol is
He's a 7-footer, but he's a shooter.
He can shoot.
So
he can rebound.
They don't need him for the rebound. AD's gonna get the rebound. LeBron's gonna get the rebound.
Yeah, I mean,
they don't
I'm
need
talking
him
about,
for
like,
that.
off the bench.
Yeah, off the bench,
like he's gonna be in that second team.
So I see the moves that the Lakers made. Yeah, I like them. Of course, the loyalty factor comes in with that player that left the Clippers to go with the enemy.
in the same town. But that's another story.
I mean, Gordon Hayward, I think, is just trash. I mean, like, he just got lucky. There's certain players that they just get lucky with big contracts.
Yeah.
And I feel like he was one of them.
Yeah.
I mean, it was unfortunate, his injury, one of the most gruesome to kind of see on a basketball court. But he definitely was not the investment. Him and Chandler Parsons was another one who I think got way too much money.
Yeah.
But, watch out for Luka next year, though. Luka and Porzingis.
Yeah.
Watch out for Dallas. I feel like they could be a contender. And the other dude, the one that Shaq called Urang, he's a good player, too. If they could add just, like, another good piece, like maybe, the guy from Indiana. What's his name?
What you mean? The black dude, Oladipo.
Oladipo. If they could add Oladipo to that, I could see them maybe making it to the Western Conference Finals. And, if they had something like that.
I don't really.
I mean, those are the type of moves I would need to see for me to see any different from what I've seen in the NBA last season. Yeah, you're going to have some different playoff teams in the West, like we talked about with Phoenix. Maybe Dallas is probably going to be there again.
Phoenix,
I think
Dallas,
Golden
the
State
Lakers.
Still going to probably make the playoffs. Utah, don't forget about them with Donovan Mitchell.
I think the dynasty's over when you talk about Golden State, but yeah, that's another story.
We
All right,
talked
go ahead.
about that already.
Yeah. So I think in the East, you have a few contenders. I think Atlanta's finally gonna be a contender this year. They got Trey. What is his name? Trey Young.
Atlanta.
They got Trey Young still. They wind up getting Rondo. They wind up getting what's his name? The guy from Sacramento, Bogdanovich, I think.
Okay.
They wind up getting him, and they wind up getting Gallinari. So Gallinari, do I think he's a great player? But
I say they're a playoff team, maybe a 6 seed.
That's what I'm saying. Are they? Can they win the championship? No. But can they give people a run for their money? Yes. Who I think in the East really is the contenders is, of course, number 1, Miami Heat, number 2, Boston Celtics, number 3, Philadelphia. Let me take that back. Number 1,
Philly and Milwaukee. They're like on that other. They're on that.
Think
lower
about it.
tier.
The reason why I'm saying Philly is because Ben Simmons finally got the shot.
Does he really though?
Nah. Before he injured himself, when I seen his ass playing in the bubble, I'm like, damn.
Well,
like he know how to shoot now. That was the only thing that he didn't have. Now he was, we gotta see. We gotta see. Now, was he?
I don't trust any of those two players on Philly, Embiid either.
See, but we said the same thing about Rondo, and we said the same thing about Rondo and Dwight Howard at the free throw lines with the threes, and they kept shoving it in our mouth during the playoffs. So I'm just saying what I seen so far. Like, now I understand Ben Simmons have everything but the shot, and I'm like that first few weeks when they were in the bubble, like he had the shot. So I'm like, okay, when he was injured, he was practicing on his game. It's kind of like Paul George. When Paul George got injured and he came back, like his shot was like deadly. He was been making everything, I guess because he couldn't jump, he really had to focus on his shot game, because that's all he had to work on, while he was rehabbing. So I'm looking at it kind of like that with that guy. So I look at it. I think that Ben Simmons can go ahead if his shot stays consistent to what I seen before he got injured this year. I think they got a little something there. Of course, I forgot about Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. Of course,
I say they're gonna be like fourth.
I think they're gonna be fourth.
Seed.
One, because of chemistry. Maybe. They're trying to find themselves still. They're coming off an injury. Harden.
And they were a playoff team last year with a bunch of nobodies. I couldn't name one.
Exactly. So. But damn, what was they doing? I'm like, damn, wet. But when it's just kind of like that guy with the Pacers when he was balling out of control, and then you put Jimmy Butler on him, and then his game is null and void. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we gotta see. But again, that's why I think the contenders is on the East. First, Miami, of course. You got
the Boston Celtics. Of course, you got Philly, you know, if they stay healthy. You know, you got Brooklyn, you got Atlanta, and damn, who else in the East? That so far, that's for on what I got. But again, I think the only team that can contend with the Lakers is a healthy Miami, because that guy that we drafted, he's 7'1".
It's hard not to believe.
7'1".
Yeah, I didn't even mention that.
Point guard.
I think it's Achua. I seen the name. I was like, it looked like Achua or something like that.
Yeah,
Achua.
Mm-hmm.
But his first name is Precious, so everybody's gonna call him Precious. He's gonna be a precious pick for us. And I didn't even mention him, and I'm glad you did, because that's the other factor. Because he's gonna be put in that system. Spo and Haslam gonna put him to work, and he's gonna be another Bam in training.
I think Bam's gonna be gone next year.
So.
I know we signed him for 5 years, but I think that
I don't think he's gonna.
That's just what I'm thinking.
That's what Western
and the reason
saying,
the reason why I'm saying that is because if you want Giannis, I'm trying to figure out how two people with the same exact game that don't have a shot, has everything but the shot, can play with each other on the court at the same time. That's the only thing that makes me like, how is it going to work? Because I'm looking at it like, y'all the same fucking player, and both y'all can't shoot. What, somebody's going to play the power forward and one's going to play the center?
Yep.
I mean, okay, cool. But I remember you got to learn, you got to shoot. What killed the Miami Heat in the finals was AD has everything and the shot. Everything. If Giannis and Bam gets the shot like AD, they're better players than AD.
Right.
You know, because one, they have the grit. I think AD always injured, and he has a lot of. But I think he's a great player.
I think they're gonna develop to that. So I'm just gonna believe in the fact that they're gonna develop into that, and they're going to get the shot where it's good enough. Because, if we had a Dragic who obviously has the shot, all we have to do is really kind of find the right lineup at the right time. They don't have to be playing at the same time, or they can interchange, as the quarters go on, where you got, one in or one out, and you could, do different play sets. I mean, it's going to be ridiculous if they have those two, and I think that's what the Heat are going to do. So I'm just gonna. You got anything else on free agency?
I mean, no, I'm fine with the free agency. Besides what LeVar Ball stated, talking about, as a sport athlete, you basically never gonna find like a real down ass chick like down for you. All the females that's hollering at you is only hollering at you for money, and I agree and disagree with that. You feel me? Because at the end of the day, like, I know a lot of people that have money, they don't have NBA money, but it gets to a point where it depends on the female that you hollering at. If you hollering at somebody that's just about bread and really don't give a fuck if you smashing other females and doing all type of shit, then okay, I hear you, LeVar. But if you, females, they really want a dude that's down for them. You feel me? And the money is a plus, but that's my way of thinking. I don't know how females think. I'm a dude. I got a wife, so I know how she thinks. So I'm just going on how she would probably think. You feel what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I would think that you want somebody that's for you, that's honest, respectful, trustful, that accountability is a thing, meaning if I'm wrong, I can say sorry. Some people can't say sorry, and, the money is extra. But that's just me, playing devil's advocate, because we won't have a female here to say what it really is. But I agree with him to a certain extent. It depends what type of females you trying to holler at. It's just like dudes in the hood. When you trying to holler at a female, what you trying to holler at a female that's at the strip club, or you trying to find and holler at a female that's at your job, or somebody that you met, somebody put you down with, but they know their backstory. You feel me? So again, it's different. Again, I know you got all type of hoes out here, and you got hoes that want to holler at you for money. Dr. Dre's wife, and other people. but again, you got loyal people out here, and at the end of the day, I just look at it like, it depends on you as a person
and how can you evaluate people as a whole? Because again, sometimes it be fake. Some people wear that mask perfect. Whereas I think that you 100, and years later I find out that you was for me for another reason. So it depends.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely depends. It's an interesting topic. I mean, women, as far as like statistically though, I feel them. Statistically, the majority is going to be about that bread. The majority is going to be about that bread, you know, or if they don't know, that is definitely going to highly influence, I feel, their decision on if they're going to move on with you or not. Because a person with bread, I think, in a woman's perspective, even if they don't like them, they gonna try to stick. They gonna try their hardest, probably, to make that shit work, because they know they'll be financially free.
That don't, cause my whole thing gets so damn.
I think it's in perspective though, because everybody kind of has that to a point. You know?
Yeah, ain't nobody trying to holler at nobody that's broken, bringing nothing to the table.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Like,
exactly.
It's crazy how it's one sided, because a female could be at the crib, not ever work, and nobody look at her any type of way in public. But a man was to do that, they looking at side eye and all type of craziness. But females want to be treated 50-50. You feel me? And all this, that, and the other. Nah. So that's why I don't really agree with that situation, because my whole thing is like, I can't holler at somebody that you know I can't trust. That doesn't respect me. That you know I don't feel safe around. Yeah. Fuck the money.
Right.
You know?
I mean, it's definitely a situation where you gotta really evaluate the chick that you with. You know, like, obviously I'm married, and just like Wes was talking about, obviously I know how she thinks, and she just wants somebody that's down for her. You know, I mean, just like how we all do. But yeah, you cannot deny there's going to be a lot of women out there, especially when you got bread, that are going to just be about that bread. So you just got to be smart enough to see, you know, decipher through the crowd to figure out who they are. And it's wrong for him to say that, or to make it so definitive like that, because that's how you kind of block your blessings. Because you might, just because you just set on that women have a certain perspective on something, you may miss out on gold.
Exactly.
When it's just sitting in front of your face. So that, I think that's the part where it's wrong, but I understand. I understand how it is, homie.
You feel me?
But, you know, but speaking of equal pay, you know, I wanted to, or equality with women and gender. News that came out this week was that we're actually gonna get a female kicker in college football in the Power 5. So that's Power crazy. 5 is like the highest level of college football. Who that's don't crazy. Know if you in, you know, there's levels to football. Power 5 would be the highest. So now she's gonna play for Vanderbilt. She played soccer.
Okay.
But she doesn't even kick the ball on a regular because she is a goalkeeper.
We seen her.
So I think, first of all, it's just Sarah Fuller.
Hey.
First of all, I just think it's questionable just to do, like, wow, maybe it's a situation with COVID, where, you know, I understand it is the situation with COVID, because COVID is always the situation.
Shouldn't even play a
or
factor.
You could always blame the situation on COVID, which is what they're doing in the media right now.
That shouldn't even be
so. But don't y'all got a men's soccer team though?
Exactly.
You telling me like a men's soccer player can't be in this game? Like, it feels like there's some kind of agenda that's happening with this.
Look, when
it's
her
like you're just trying to
hit, when she get hit,
that's the other part.
What people gonna say?
Are you gonna treat her like a man?
Oh, because
it's a block kick. That means I get to lay your ass
out. You feel me? And I don't need nobody. I don't need no, women activists. Nobody complaining when she get hit like that. Don't say she got hit hard. This, that, and the other. That's one thing. 2, I seen her practice and her kicking. Like, she wasn't that great. Like, come on now. I'm just being real. Yeah, she wasn't that great. She looked suspect. I'm not going to say, she looked decent just because I'm recording this podcast. I seen her. She didn't look that great. That's 2. Also, 3, when it comes to the locker room, when they shower and all this shit, like, that's another problem. You feel me? What? So she has her own, there's preference because she a female. She got to be in her own this, that, and the other. Like, my whole thing is, I don't think sports, maybe this type of sport,
should mesh with genders.
Sport, maybe like what we said earlier, tennis, certain sports.
They've already done that before.
Cool.
Yeah.
MMA, you can't do that with MMA.
You can't do that with MMA.
Fighting a female. Oh, hell no, that's not going. Like, what? It's just, and not just that, but we know this is like one of the bloodiest sports, hockey, NFL, like, it's like, come on, straight contact, like, I don't know how it's going to work. Hopefully she don't get her lights, like knocked out of her ass, like she got hit by a car, but I want that to happen. The reason why I want it to happen, so this agenda and this bullshit that they're trying to go ahead and put in here, like, no, again, I don't have no problem with women's sports, men's sports, but certain sports, men and women shouldn't play together because it's so physical. And I shouldn't have to, dial back on hitting you just because you're a female.
Right.
So again, I think this is a bad move all around. I think it's a good thing. I think it's going to be a first and last thing, especially once she eventually get hit. But, hey, COVID been playing a big-ass factor on 2020, like crazy as fuck.
I mean, I feel what they trying to do. I'm not going to, like, totally bash the situation because I don't want to be that guy.
When she get hit, what they going to say?
Yeah, I mean, I made that point, too. Like, if there's a block kick, that means I can lay your ass out. Straight up, or a fake if you want to try a fake, or if there's a bobbled snap, like, come on, like, yo, you need to just go down to the ground. Hopefully they're teaching her some kind of safety precautions, out there. They're terrible. They're worse.
Yeah, Vanderbilt's terrible. So
they're the worst team in the SEC.
A mixed block or a
could
anything
happen.
like that. It's possible.
It could happen. Vanderbilt is more about education. It's more of an education type of school.
That is fucking crazy.
It's like Duke, Stanford. They're more about education. They happen to have some decent athletes, where they can play in a Power 5 conference, but they're not, there's non-Power 5 schools that would destroy Vanderbilt. Let's just say that. So, yeah, I just hope she, doesn't die out there.
When was the last time somebody spoke about Vanderbilt? Well, if
I don't know.
About Skip Bayless, that's his alma mater.
I mean, Vanderbilt. If you want to
talk about Vanderbilt, even though he knows they suck.
I would too. Like shit. Players.
Don't nobody else talk about Vanderbilt.
Jay
Cutler came from Vanderbilt.
Jay Cutler is like the only one.
Garbage. Oh my God! Hey, please don't get hit, please. But again, if you do get hit, I hope that it's a real severe hit. So everybody could be like, man, this little trial and error that we're trying to do right now, I don't think it's a positive thing because we're putting her life on the line.
For real.
Now the next
let's just go and do that.
Roy Jones prediction. If y'all didn't see our podcast, we already have a podcast up on Roy Jones. We
need to remind people to like, subscribe, and share. The MarcWes Podcast. So, show the love if you like what you hear, you like what you see, what we put together.
If you like
my
a
boy
topic,
Chris over here with the production.
Of course.
We out here working, giving you that flavor. But go ahead.
I'm trying to help you get that money. But again, I think Tyson's gonna go ahead and win this one. Like I said in the previous podcast, Mike Tyson, knockout king. And both are old, so speed ain't really gonna play a factor. But I did see Mike Tyson when it came to his training. And if he's moving as fast as he was moving in training, then I'm going to give him the edge. Now, I haven't seen Roy Jones train like that. But, of course, we know Roy Jones, he's been fast. But, again, both are old. But I think legacy-wise, Tyson is not going to lose this fight,
He loses the big legacy fights before. Against Lennox Lewis, legacy fight, lost it. Against Holyfield, legacy fight, lost it.
He was on depressants. I've been trying to tell you, like, what's going on. I think Mike Tyson. Oh, not just that, but it's an 8-round fight. This ain't a typical fight. 8 rounds. I think 2 or 3 minutes a round. They don't have no judges, so I don't know how that's gonna work.
No judges.
Yeah, they don't want people. They want people to make their own perception who actually won.
Ooh, I like
That's cool. But
Supposed to be no knockout.
supposed to be no knockout. But Tyson
How's it gonna be a knockout?
The fuck?
How you gonna say no knockouts? Like,
No knockout.
How does that make sense? So if a knockout you lose.
Chris just said that there's something that they said no knockouts. So
don't get in the ring then.
and
bitch.
it's 50, exactly. It's $50 for this motherfucking fight. It's $50 for the fight. It's 8 rounds. No referees, no judges,
which is interesting.
No knockout. Like, why are we?
I'm glad we having this fight though.
But
I'm
gonna watch
still
it
glad
anyway.
we having this fight. Roy Jones Jr., one of the best to ever do it against Mike Tyson, was one of the best to ever do it. I don't remember the last time we've actually had that. When was the last time we had 2 really old fighters who were the best in their prime play or fight
Pacquiao
this
Mayweather.
late? Pacquiao, yeah, I would say, yeah.
Yeah,
like both of them.
All right.
Yeah, so I think it's gonna be an interesting fight. I'm glad they're having the fight. I just want to say that. But I think Roy Jones is gonna win this fight. I don't think Mike Tyson. I base stuff on what I see. And if you're trending the wrong way, just like in betting, just like in fantasy football, just like in suicide pools, just like in any picks, regardless. If I see you're trending the wrong way, which is what Mike Tyson has been doing throughout his career, he peaked when he was like 20 to me, or 22, or however old he was when he lost to Buster Douglas. And he struggled to really ever get back to this, greatness. And I think people hold on to that. And I feel like Roy Jones, he knows how to adjust with life better.
Give you example.
He knows how to adjust with life better.
Tyson
And right now, I'm gonna bet on Roy Jones over Mike Tyson.
Like Tiger Woods. Certain people, Mike Tyson is like MJ or LeBron. Certain people, it's just like what's understood don't need to be explained. So I understand where you're coming from with Roy Jones, because I fucked with him when he was doing the chicken, pretending like he a chicken and knock a motherfucker out. I seen those fights. But again, his name doesn't bring the same, market value as Tyson. So I'm going with Tyson. Since it's, I don't know. Well, I think Tyson's still gonna knock the motherfucker out. So if he gonna knock him out, I say Tyson gonna knock him out in the fifth round.
I go Roy Jones 6. Knockout.
It's not gonna be a knockout. Well,
knockout.
But again, I think it's gonna be a great fight. We got our picks, and we're gonna go ahead and hand this off to Chris, because Chris though he knows UFC, he knows boxing. Yeah. This is what he do. So there's another fight, Nate Robinson.
Yeah, but hold on. But before that, all right, let me get my pick.
Okay.
Tyson versus Roy Jones.
You're going with Tyson.
Tyson. Yeah, I'm going with Tyson now. I'm going with Tyson. All right, I'm gonna say stoppage last round. You said 8 rounds in the 8th round.
8 rounds
in the 8th round. So yeah, like I was telling Marcus and Wes, one of the fights or on the undercard that I want to see the most is actually Jake Paul versus Nate Robinson, which if a lot of people don't know who are watching this, Jake Paul is a YouTuber, little brother of Logan Paul, another YouTuber, and they're just these white boys who get millions of views on YouTube, just I don't know, doing stupid
crazy shit.
Yeah, just doing stupid bullshit, but eventually they started fighting other YouTubers, and since they have so many views, the boxing promotions have actually brought them upon them, and they have got they've sanctioned them for pro fights already.
Why not?
So Jake Paul versus Nate Robinson. We already know who Nate Robinson is, NBA ex-NBA basketball player.
3-time dunk dunk contest champion.
One of the greatest athletes to be 5'9" in the NBA. You have to be one of the greatest athletes. So him versus 6'2" YouTuber Jake Paul. What do y'all?
I think Nate Robinson gonna whoop his ass because I seen that clip you was talking about and you was telling me how he was talking shit. You know, what did you say that he called Nate Robinson again? Bitch made. Oh, he called him bitch made. Like any black person. I'm just being real with you.
You just want to strike a nerve.
You got a white person calling you bitch made, and you got the chance to whoop his ass in the motherfucking ring. Oh hell no, Nate Robinson's gonna whoop his ass. Nate Robinson, his whole career.
That shit would be going off in my head.
Oh yeah, that's what I be thinking about. Imagine somebody saying that to Tyson. You know what I mean? I'm like, nah. You know, like certain people, like you gotta understand, certain people like Jordan, like Tyson, you don't want to give them that extra ammunition, my brother. You feel me? And this is exactly what you want to go ahead and do. I mean, I haven't seen Nate Robinson fight before, but I seen his build. You know, as far as like muscular wise. And I'm like, shit, he black, you know, and it's not a race thing over here, but one was always an athlete and one just started doing this thing, you know, amateurly, you know, in Jake Paul, you know. So I'm gonna go with the guys that's been an athlete. His stamina, if you go talk about stamina, endurance, Nate got that all day, you know, because he's been in the NBA for how long? You know, and Chris said that he actually trained 2 times a day, you know. So like really for us that's probably something big, but somebody that's been in the NBA for years on end, that shit ain't really nothing. He bulked up, you know. He always was kind of muscular. You say he came out the womb. Fucking,
that's what I'm trying to say. Fuck. He was like, everybody's seen that pic. I mean, if y'all haven't seen that picture where he's like literally 4 years old and he's like this swole little kid, you know. Yeah, I mean that like what were you doing, bro? Like what were they feeding this kid? You know, I feel like he's been a cyborg since like he was 4 years old, and he's going to destroy this dude. Especially if, like you said, it's calling him bitch made. Like, come on, man. Nate Robinson, like his story is just, you know, just for you to be as short as you are and win a dunk contest, like you said. Like, to me, he's the best dunk contest winner of all time for me.
But that quote
because of how short you are. You know, because it's more aesthetically pleasing if you watching a short dude rather than a tall dude, straight up. Because like when Dwight Howard won the dunk contest that year, I was just like, this is trash. Like, why is he winning this shit? You know, he's not making this look like, you know, like art.
That's why Shaq don't fuck with his bitch ass.
Nate Robinson, I feel, is definitely I mean, I was surprised to know that he was even in this fight. When you was like Nate Robinson, I was like, Nate Robinson, I don't know who that is. Who's Nate Robinson? And I was like, wait, Nate Robinson, a basketball player? Like, hold up, the basketball player? Come on, man. Like, you got to go with Nate Robinson in this fight. I'm glad we get to see that
and I think,
before the Tyson.
One more thing with the quote. When I know how people use that quote, bitch made. Like, I don't normally say, oh, that nigga bitch made. No, I said that bitch made ass nigga. So I'm just looking at the rest of the quote that probably didn't come out. You feel what I'm saying? And if he said it the way I said it, then, hey, Nate, go at him. You feel me? Because I know that's how people normally say it down here in Dade County. Bitch made ass nigga.
You know?
So, you know.
Yeah,
you gotta finish it, you know? So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give my little 2 cents on that. Jake Paul versus Nate Robinson. I'm gonna go with Jake Paul is 1-1, so he's fought one pro fight versus some other some other YouTube. It wasn't even an amateur, another YouTuber. So he's 1-1. He is taller than Nate Robinson. He's 6'2", so I'm sure he probably has a better reach. But fucking Nate Robinson was an NBA player. He's athletic. But another thing is, though, most NBA players suck at fighting. Whenever you watch like a fight that breaks out in the NBA, they're horrible, dog.
You remember Alonzo Mourning?
Hot take, I'm going with Jake Paul, dog. Jake Paul's gonna win this. Nate Robinson, your days are numbered, bro. you're gonna get whooped by a YouTuber. It's gonna be sad. But I hope Nate Robinson whoops him. I hope Nate Robinson whoops him.
You know that's gonna follow his career if he lose.
Of course,
he's not losing.
This is gonna be Sticky Fingers versus that white boy on MTV all over again. You remember that, Marcus? Sticky Fingers getting whooped by that white boy on MTV. No,
Sticky
you don't remember
Fingers
that
from Onyx?
Yeah, no, this is old school. This is like rock and jock boxing.
Really?
You don't remember that shit? This is old school. He was talking shit. It was like Sticky Fingers versus like a skateboarder.
From Onyx.
Yeah, from Onyx. This was like back in 98 when like 98 Shut 'Em Down happened. We're going to talk hip-hop later. But yeah, and Sticky Fingers was talking all this shit. Oh, I'll never get whooped by a white boy. If I get whooped, I'm never coming back to Brooklyn. And they're like interviewing all these hip-hop artists. Everybody's going with Sticky. Yo, DMX. I'm going with Sticky. They interviewed this other guy. It's going with Sticky.
You got his ass whooped.
They interview Jay-Z, right? Jay-Z is the only one who goes, this white boy's a skater. He falls on his ass a lot. The motherfuckers are tough. Jay-Z was the only one who goes, I'm going with the white boy. The white boy whooped Sticky, dog.
Because Sticky Fingers used to using something in his hand.
Yeah, most likely. Yeah, he most used to likely to a knife or some shit. But all right, the other boxing fight that I know that's later on today is Daniel Jacobs versus Gabriel Rosado. I don't really know too much about Gabriel Rosado. I know Daniel Jacobs. He's pretty good. He's like a gatekeeper, right? You know what a gatekeeper is?
Yeah, like Jay-Z.
Nah, Jay-Z, come on, guy. Jay-Z's a champion. Yeah. But yeah, Daniel Jacobs is a gatekeeper, and because I've seen Daniel Jacobs fight. I think he's fought Canelo. He's kept it competitive, but then at the end got whooped. And Gabriel Rosado, I don't really know much about him. All I'm looking at is his record. And by his record, I'm going to call him a journeyman. So it's a gatekeeper versus a journeyman. And with that dynamic, the gatekeeper should win. You know what I mean? And just to let everybody know, if you guys don't understand what a gatekeeper is like somebody who's like good, who could kick ass, but they just can't make it over the hump. They just can't get that championship belt. A journeyman is somebody who's like half and half. Like half of the fights they won, half of the fights they lost. And then a tomato can is just somebody who gets their ass whooped all the time.
Also, a journeyman is like Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Fitzpatrick. Okay. Yeah. Boom. And yeah, you want a Benjamin report?
Yeah, the next topic that we're gonna go in is the Benjamin report. He's gonna go ahead and give you the outcomes of these I think it was playoff or championship games.
Playoff games last night.
You know, the first one was Edison, Uncle Luke versus Chaminade, was it?
Chaminade.
Oh my God, I'm gonna pass it to Marcus. I seen the highlights, it wasn't so great, but he was at the game, so he'll go ahead and tell you what he's seen live on the field.
Yeah, Edison trying to make a comeback. They haven't won a championship since like 1970, but Chaminade just shut that down from the word go last night because it was 28-0 shutout of Uncle Luke and the Miami Edison Red Raiders. They came out, scored 2 touchdowns off the bat. They was running with the Wildcat. And the key thing about this game that you need to know is that Chaminade's best player, Thad Franklin, did not play in this game. So it could have been much worse. Damn. This game could have been much worse because this player committed to Miami. Thad Franklin ran close to 400 yards in the championship game last season. So he's that type of player. Close to 400 yards. That's ridiculous. He actually set the record for most yards in a championship game at the time. And that player was not playing in that game last night. So they got 2 other backs, a freshman, and Davion, they call him Bullet, Goss, and also Jonathan Harris, who's a sophomore. 2 players, look out for them. Hopefully Miami will continue to pipeline at Chaminade, especially with the running backs. With those 2, because they look like as young as they are, a freshman and a sophomore, dominated for the past 2 games. Thad should be back for the next game, by the way, because it's a hamstring. He was actually dressed for the game. just in case they needed him.
They did,
but they did not need him at all. So they just dominated that game. They move on to the semifinals, and they're still likely the favorite to win. The only other team to really kind of worry about is Jacksonville Trinity Christian, who was the last team to win this class. So we'll see that game in the future. Just so you know, Trinity Christian did beat American Heritage this year, but it was kind of a fluke game. It was 3-0, and it was raining like a mug, so it was kind of a fluke. But still, they did beat American Heritage, so it should be a tough game down the line. The crazy thing about last night, though, was that, obviously all the Miami media, we kind of root for all the Miami teams as well, right?
Loyalty.
And every team, when we were watching last night that had a chance to potentially win a championship, was losing at some point last night. Miami Central was down by 2 touchdowns to Naples.
They found a way to win.
They found a way to win 31-21. So they're still potentially going to move on to win 6A. Cardinal Gibbons was down as well. They didn't have their quarterback or their best wide receiver in this game. And they still found a way to win. So
adversity.
The injury bug bit a couple of teams, but Miami teams was able to overcome them. St. Thomas blew their team out, so that is the team that I will be at, or the game that I will be at next week against Venice. This is a team that they see damn near every year. Venice got them a couple of times. Venice is out of Sarasota.
Okay.
But they'll be down here next week, Fort Lauderdale. That'll be the next game that I'll be at, playoff game, obviously. So they blew out a team, Manatee, also around that area. They blew out Manatee. So they, potentially could run the table. One of the picks I made was American Heritage, beating Rockledge. They went up to Rockledge and did win 23-14, something like that. Don't quote me on that score, but it was close around that score line. Actually, I think it was 26-14. They ended up winning, so they move on in 5A. And the closest game, the other game that I picked, so I picked Chaminade to win, they won. Okay. I picked American Heritage to win, they won. The third game I made on Wednesday was Miami Palmetto and Treasure Coast, which I actually picked Treasure Coast to win, which they were losing to them the entire game. But Palmetto ties the game late. Overtime. It goes to overtime. Treasure Coast scores the first touchdown, so they're up 21-14. Palmetto scores their touchdown, and they say, fuck it, we're going for 2. They go for 2, win the game. So Miami Palmetto, another Miami team, still has the potential to win. So all the teams that were down last night at some point, except for Chaminade and Champagnat. Champagnat is another team, 2A, dominated. Champagnat out of Hialeah. It's a small school. I'll spell it for you. It's Champagnat. Champagnat.
It's a Hialeah, so
But they're a juggernaut too. Like they have play. Malik Rutherford. He's committed to Georgia Tech. Yeah, he's a primetime player. They continue to build because there's so many great players. They figured, okay, if I go to a smaller class, I have a chance to add a state championship to my record. So Champagnat, another team that will be, in contention to win. No, they're not in contention. They will win 2A, without a doubt.
Okay.
Because they won 67-0 last night, which is ridiculous. Yeah. So the other thing is that the Tri-County playoffs came out. So, with COVID, the Tri-County playoffs are just from Dade County. Dade County, Broward, and Palm Beach.
And
they got their own championship.
Exactly.
And the playoffs came out.
I was going to ask you a question. Do you think that we should continue forward going like that? So how Northern Florida just forgot about, the champions and the people that hold down Florida. Do you think we should continue with that?
It was a topic of discussion, which is actually something I wanted to bring up as well, because Luke was one of the main advocates saying, hey, we gonna start our own because y'all don't care what's going on down here. COVID is the highest than the entire state. Why are we starting football? Let's start a little bit later.
Okay.
The rest of the state didn't want to do that. So the Tri-County Palm Beach, Broward, and Dade said, okay, we're gonna do our own playoffs when we want to start.
All the champions.
So two of the champions from last year are playing in that, Columbus and Miami Booker T.
There you go.
The rest of them are in the other playoffs, which I was just mentioning, those games that I was talking about. Though that's in the state championship. So you had the option, if you was a high school, to opt in or to opt out. So if you opted out, you're in the Tri-County. You opted in, you're in the state playoffs. So also it came out today where the location is going to be, and I'm so glad they decided to actually do the location in Tallahassee. So it's at Florida State's stadium, which I'm so glad, because before that it was at the Orlando, the Citrus Bowl.
Nobody wanted to play over there.
No, everybody wanted to play over there. It's Orlando. It's not as far as Tallahassee. Nobody wants to play over there in Tallahassee. So we don't want to make that drive. But I'm so glad they doing all in 1 week. So all the state championships would be all in 1 week from Wednesday to Saturday. So I'm looking forward to that, because I get to cover every class now.
Perfect.
So I get to cover every class, because before they had it broken up into 2 weeks, and nobody was going to go to Tallahassee 1 week,
come back
and then come back and go to Tallahassee next week. No,
Yeah.
So they did all in 1 week, but all the Miami favorites won out. So we'll see what happens this week. Game of the week for this week: St. Thomas versus Venice.
All right, so we're about to close this out, and I just want to intro this last topic because I feel like all three of us here, we love hip hop. You know what I mean? We all came up on hip hop. Hip hop was pretty much the soundtrack of our lives. You know what I mean? So
Well put. Soundtrack of our lives.
Yeah, of course. So I think little by little we talked about the Gucci, Jeezy, stuff like that. So
Gucci.
I think little by little we'll add more hip hop into this podcast. You know what I mean? But no, yeah, if it has to do with competing, or even every once in a while if something pops up and you just want to
Talk about it,
you just want to talk about it. Fuck it, let's talk some hip hop. You know what I mean? We all love hip hop here. So just to let everybody know where we stand, like on hip hop, I wanted to give out our top 10. Now, I think all of us here are 80s babies, so I think most of our top 10 is gonna, for the younger crowd, is gonna be mostly like 90s artists, shit like that.
Yeah,
but
ain't gonna be no Quavo.
But at the same time, we still love the young artists. We still listen to the new shit that comes out. Some of it we love it, some of it we don't like it. But you know what I mean? We ain't just gonna hate on it just because it's young. You know what I mean? So I'll start out with my top 10, and then
right.
I'll let y'all go ahead. So pretty much, all right. Tupac and Biggie to me have reached sainthood. So you can't choose them. They're saints in the game. They're saints in the culture. They're up there. You know what I mean? So all right, I'm gonna start from 10 and then go all the way up. So at number 10, I got Eminem. All right. At number 9, I got Black Thought from The Roots. At number 8, I got Redman. At number 7, I got Rakim. And I'm just realizing how New Yorkish this list is. Except for Black Thought. Black Thought is Philadelphia, but all right.
Still up north.
Yeah. At number 6, though, Trick Daddy.
Trick Daddy Dollars.
I got Trick Daddy at number 6. At number 5,
representing for the crib.
Representing for MIA 305. At number 5, I got Nas. At number 4, I got Cormega. At number 3,
Cormega.
Yeah. At number 3, yeah.
Cormega
was one of my favorites. You already know. He's usually offbeat, but he spits that real shit. At number 3, another Southern artist, one of all of our favorites, BG.
B Jizzle.
At number 2, I got Pusha T. Yuck. And
Pusha T.
Number 1, of course, I got Jay-Z.
Hove. That's an interesting list. I mean, Eminem. I mean, I like everybody on there to be in the top 10. I'm okay with everybody being in that top 10, except for Eminem. I mean, just for me personally,
No, he ain't my
But
music.
my top 10. I mean, it's interesting because I had to really think about this, yo. My top 10. So first off, Big Crit, man. I don't know if y'all listen to Big Crit, but Big Crit like spits facts, man. And he, like I could vibe out to Big Crit in so many different ways. So Big Crit, is definitely in the top 10.
Let's go in order. Where's he at?
Oh, where's he at?
Damn.
I want this in order. I want like 10. You know what I mean? If you can.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll put him at 10. A big crit at 10. Number 9 for me is Kendrick. You know, like I had to really think and like think of people like recent, because like I'm so quick to go to my old school niggas.
Well, you don't have that much
But
work.
he's got a lot of work. You listen to his underground?
Yeah, but
His underground is fine. To me, is what put him on the map for me was his
talking about
underground,
as far as, like-
and then his albums too is like had these old school type of feel where he's got skits. He had a running theme to it. So yeah, Kendrick's in my top 10. Now the next one for me is Big Pun. Big Pun gave you a fire verse damn near every time. You know, like unfortunate that he died early, obviously. And I'm also doing it the same way that Chris is doing it, where he's got Pac and Biggie as basically the two saints. You know, Pac to me is number 1 overall. But you know, Big is kind of the same with Big Pun, where they just like almost every time you like it's like a fire ass verse from Biggie and Big Pun. Big and their careers were cut short. Now the next one for me it was a dilemma, because like how I'm gonna put Andre and not put Big Boy, you know? So either I'm putting both, or I'm putting, you know, Big Boy holds a place, and then Andre holds a place. Because to me, yeah, to me, they got to be in the top 10, but you can't have one without the other. All right? So Outkast. After that, I got T.I. You know, I got T.I. up there. I got Wayne. Yeah, I got Wayne in the 5 spot. Actually, nah. Actually, nah. I'm gonna put Nas in the 5 spot. Nas in the 5 spot. Jay-Z in the 3. Jay's in the 3.
Wayne in the 4 spot, I guess? Or are you taking Wayne out overall?
Wayne in the 4 spot.
Wayne in the 4 spot. All right, Lil Wayne at 4.
Yeah.
All right, so top 3. 3, 2, 1. Who you got? 3. Number 3.
Damn, I feel like I'm missing one then.
You missing one. Mm-hmm.
3, 2, 1.
Definitely a dilemma. What happened?
I'll tell you who I had left. I had Jay-Z and Black Thought. Okay. You know, I'm gonna say Black Thought was gonna be my number 1, so I just have to add
Black Thought, Jay-Z.
Billy.
3. Who's that 2 then?
Who's that 2? Mark is all confused over here.
I missed one. I'm gonna have to add another one. Everybody just moves up, and I'll just add somebody to the end. And I was gonna add Twista to the end.
Woo! Damn. Yeah, I was thinking about that shit too.
So Twista at 10, Big Crit 9, Kendrick 8, Big Pun 7, Outkast, T.I., Nas, Wayne, Jay, Black Thought. That's my top 10.
Okay, so now you know it's my turn to give you the answer at The Price is Right, you know. So again, before, you know, Chris went ahead and said the sainthood with Pac and Big, I had Pac at number 1 and Big at number 2. So I had to change that, you know. So now I'm going on the bottom of the list. First, I'm going to go with Big L, number 10. You know,
Big L.
Second,
Big L, rest in peace.
I'm gonna go with Method Man. You know,
Method Man.
Number 9. Number 9 is Method Man. Number 8.
Meth.
Number 8 is BG. You feel me?
B Jizzle.
Number 8 is BG. Number 8 is BG because if we talking about, because he lyrically
his rap game is serious, but if you talking about lyrically, if you talking about like someone like the LL Cool J's and he's not on the same vibe, but you know he's well rounded though. But you know, then you have Big Pun.
Okay.
Then you have Ice Cube.
Ice Cube. Okay.
Then I have Jay-Z. Then I have Rick Ross. Now I go down to, you know, Mama Said Knock You Out. Everybody know about him. LL Cool J.
LL?
Nah, that nigga lyrically is the truth. I don't listen to him now because we grew up if we talking about back then, we just talking about lyrics. You know, he's the truth. When I was growing up, he was the GOAT. You feel me? Like, now, mind you, exactly. Now, remember, they call it, I fucked around and fuck with BG the long way. And I got BG down there, but I got LL, and I don't listen to LL right now like I listen to BG and everybody else that I listed before. But if we talking about lyrically, one of the best of all time, he's up there. You know, then I got Andre 3000. You know, but again, I'm gonna go on what Marcus said with the, you know, I'm just gonna switch that from Andre 3000 to Outkast. You know, then you got, of course, number one, you know, I'll put Nas up there. Number one, if Pac and Biggie's, you know, sainthood can't speak on them, Nas, because Nas is the closest to Pac for me than anyone else. He's just more reserved and didn't have that much drama. But if you talking about, like, you know, even the shit that he had with Pac when Pac passed away, you know, Heaven's Mansion, you know, like, he held his own. Like, it did not miss a beat from Pac and him and certain things like that. So I'll go with Nas number one.
Nah, C Murder's
C Murder.
I like C.
Oh,
I like.
Oh, we talking about hip hop. That's another story, man. If we just talking about hip hop, I would have to throw Soulja Slim in there. I would have to throw BG in there. I would have to throw certain people in there. You know. So mine is different because I was not talking about straight up rap. You know, I was talking about like lyrically,
like
and longevity and certain shit like that. Yeah, you know. But again, if you're talking about like, look, me, everybody know I'm Street 100. You know, so again, BG got to be up there. Soulja Slim got to be up there. You know, of course, I'm gonna go ahead and go with 8-Ball MJG. I'm gonna go with Dirty Boys. I'm gonna go with Ghetto Boys. I'm gonna go with UGK 8-Ball. You know, UGK. Certain things, you know,
it's
because
hard
it's all
to
from the South. Of course, I'm gonna have to steal his and go with T.I. Also, I'm gonna have to go with Young Jeezy. I'm gonna have to go with Gucci Mane. You feel me? Notice, you know, none of these people was in my top 10 because I was talking about top 10 overall, like as far as with hip hop, as far as lyrically, as far as, you know, substance, you know, I'll just straight up lyrically. But if you want to talk about mine, all them motherfuckers, BG probably number one, C Murder number two, you know, BG number two, because Pac is number one. Pac is number one, but he's a saint, you know. But again, BG, C Murder, you know, Mac, you know, you 8-Ball MJG, you know, T.I. Of course, Rick Ross got to be up there.
Really
Rose is the truth.
Know?
You feel what I'm saying? Gucci Mane, you know, JT Money got to be up there. Certain people got to be up there.
I mean, it's hard to even judge because you really got to find out what you're judging on. What are you judging on? Because for me, like when I judged it on lyrics, one, because you're a rapper. Yeah, you know, I judge it on two, how many songs do I like of you? Yeah. You know, like as far as the amount is concerned. Like because you can have like a great album. Like I love BG. I mean BG from Chopper City and Chopper City in the Ghetto.
Like 10 albums from like 13 years old to like
even
22.
Living Legend and like even stuff that he was coming out with after the Cash Money phase was dope. But am I gonna say he's lyrically even close to all the rappers in my top 10? No. So he doesn't make the top 10 lyrically. Now, as far as songs that he made, yeah. You know, as far as his style and, like, just how gangsty he was, yeah. You know, like, I would put Jeezy also in that category, and like what he said, 8-Ball MJG as well, as far as, like, songs that I just fucking love because I grew up in this era when that shit came out, you know? Yeah. But if I'm talking about who are the best rappers for me throughout my lifetime, you know, who really kind of struck a nerve when I hear lyrics and who came with consistency every time. And also I did consider, like, regular hits. Yeah. I did consider regular hits because sometimes you need versatility. So you got to be a rapper that's versatile too. So those are the kind of the three things I judged with my top 10.
I would say the categories of judging it is, like, we're not doing just lyrics. Because, like, when Wes started hitting, I was like, Wes is mostly, like, New York, like, East Coast artists. Like, nah, I know Wes fucks with them down south, but I'm talking about the people who was your soundtrack to being young. Like, whether like, for me, like, whether this motherfucker put out solid albums or he just spit some of the realest things, even if his albums wasn't all that, but he spit some of those realest things that you were like, yo, nah, he's one of the realest, or if he was, like, one of the best lyrically, or just your
that's a different question.
Your top 10 that, like, that.
Now, I mean, it was my
pretty much that
was my soundtrack
type shit.
Is different.
But I think we're gonna save this. We'll redo this and we'll save this for the next podcast.
All right,
we'll redo this again and save it for the next podcast again.
So I just want to say 2 rappers I would take off of your list. Ooh. I think we should say who we would take off each other's list. 2 rappers I would take off of your list that you did was LL. He's not gonna be in that top 10. I'm sorry. You had too many commercial hits, you know, like every hard, though. Like, but I'm not buying an LL album. I'm not buying an LL album. If you, that's why he's not gonna be in my top 10. He's got to be somebody like.
That's not the song I'm buying.
It's got to be something like, if it comes out right now, this is
it's gonna be some shit like, if we talking about right now type shit.
No, this is what I'm saying. Like, if they came out with either a new album or that somebody just, hey, all right, then this rapper just came out with a new album today.
I'll take him out with DMX.
Or, like, you would say to yourself, yeah, I would go to a concert to watch these people. So all those people in my top 10 is considerate. Now, there were more. Like, you know, Jeezy should be up there. BG should be up there. I actually like J. Cole a lot. You know, Project Pat. I didn't even say Project Pat. Project Pat, you know, spoiler alert, will be on my soundtrack because that's different. Because he represent a time for me where where those first 3 albums of Project Pat
3 6 Mafia
and 3 6 Mafia. Come on, man.
Hey, you know what? We'll redo this one. We'll think about, like, the categories that we're judging on, and we'll redo our top 10 and maybe next
soundtrack, baby. Because that's,
you want to say goodbye
to
the people? But yeah, man, that's pretty much it for the MarcWes Sports Podcast.
Yeah, I'll catch y'all boys next Wednesday, you know, with more picks, so y'all can make a little bit more money. You feel what I'm saying?
And we gonna pop that champagne this year. Don't worry about it. We gonna pop that champagne. We're gonna bring the Dolphins, because, you know, don't worry about it. We gonna pop that champagne. MarcWes Sports Podcast out, baby.